So also in the realm of specific behavior praise. So it's a great job. We want to turn those feet forward. Turn that foot forward like you do this one. Just fall down. Okay. All right, pause right here. How many times does this happen? Like with kids just falls down. You are doing such a great job of standing up. You're showing us what awesome looks like. Great job, man. Let's stand on that, buddy. All right, we keep going. So in the realm of positive, praising behavior, a lot of people see this. You did a great job of standing up. All right, I need this guy and the rest of the class to hear it. It doesn't mean I'm not going to address this, but I'm not going to take all my energy on focusing on what this guy is doing incorrectly or wrong, because I don't want others to see that. I don't want him to feel validated or he's getting all the attention because he's doing the wrong thing. A quick way to help underscore the why: use analogy, use stories. When I go back to the idea of joint locking, it's a real feeling sensation. I go back to the analogy of like a gun. I'll ask people who's ever shot a gun before. A gun is not just pick it up and shoot it. It's a feeling you get on the weapon, and you get that through continued practice. Or people who play instruments. Yes, you can push the buttons on a trumpet or a saxophone, but that's not all there is to playing. It's a feeling you get through practice. So find what your analogy is and help to articulate that with the why. Motivate. And one other thing I think is kind of overarching. I think one of the reasons I really love science is because I had such an amazing science teacher in 7th grade. His name was Mr. Fred Kemp. And such an amazing, energetic individual. I kind of liked science up to that point, but he made me love science. I've never forgot that. The old saying goes, and I know Carl Sagan says as well, when you love something, share it with the world. But share it with your own enthusiasm. Now, I'm not trying to say like fake it till you make it or something like that, but if you have a passion about something, share that passion with others. And if you're not passionate about something and you're teaching it, then maybe you need to evaluate. Capture and focus attention. All right, Lizzie, I'm sure there's times whenever you're in class and you start to lose people. Or like Chris, you got a whole group of like Tigers classes, and maybe you have Daniel over here who's just kind of drifting off. Now, what I'm doing right now, Toa, is actually something called attention tagging. Another way sometimes we call this is roll calling, Vincent. But what I'm doing is just kind of randomly saying people's names. Carrie knows what I'm talking about while I'm teaching. And that kind of makes you perk up a little bit more. Another one is, see how I kind of just lost you there? Cadence control. Okay? If that was purposeful. If you're putting a lot of long pauses into what you are doing, you're going to lose people. I have to admit, sometimes it drives me a little nuts. Like when somebody's doing the warm up, everybody's over here and they're like, like, no. You should have thought about that like as you were running back. So be mindful of cadence control. Keep the timing moving forward. Try to avoid those long pauses. Micro instruction, another common term for this is chunking. If I'm trying to show, I don't know, a kata, I think a kata is the best example of this. And I actually had a teacher who would do this. He would show me the entire kata and then say, all right, do that. When we shorten up our training into chunking, we are more likely to, it's more likely to stick, the more likely to retain. Now, this other one's nothing we're necessarily going to practice today, but something we need to be mindful of. And that's attention cycle. There are all kinds of studies out here on how long you hold people's attention for a thing. Now, I was looking at a lot of this, and it can get rather confusing because it's different age groups, different, let's just say ranges of time. And I'm trying to simplify it, but just saying 5, 7, and 12. Generally for Tiger's age, you're not going to get more than 5 minutes out of a technique. For Dragon's age, 7 minutes out of a technique, and teens and adults, 12 minutes. Now, that includes, I'm showing you a thing, I'm having you rep it, I'm going to pause and reinforce, we're going to rep it a few more times, and now we're going to move on to something else. Like, you can come back to the thing, but if you just keep pressing the same thing over and over, you're really no longer learning. Mentally, you're no longer learning. You might be kind of going through the reps, but nothing's really sticking at that point. So let's say you have a tiger, you're going through all the processes of teaching them a front kick. Remember, these are guidelines, not rule books. So 5 minutes in, you probably should be switching gears to something else. And if you notice something I try to do is like, okay, we're gonna spend a few minutes on a front kick, back break fall, back up. It's kind of like a mental reset. Now we're gonna do a roundhouse kick. We spend a few minutes on a round kick. Back break fall, back up, show me some front kicks, show me some roundhouse kicks. Now we're gonna do a side kick. We spend a few minutes on a side kick. Back break fall, that's your reset, back up. And so I'm trying to put that mental reset in every few minutes. But also don't spend too much on one thing because your brain just stops learning. 5, 7, 12. 5 minutes for tigers, 7 minutes for dragons, 12 minutes for teens and adults. General guidelines, not rule book. Now, I only have one person for this example, but I'm going to continue to say Vince's name to bring that cue back up. And I'm going to try to focus on the micro instructions. So, Mr. Vincent, what we're going to be doing, we're going to stand in our front stance, and why our stance is important?
For balance and power.
Balance and power, you know the why. Good, let's put that left leg forward. We're going to put our right leg back, and we're going to bend our knees. All right, very good. Keep the knees bent and the toes forward. All right, so let's go back to attention stance. All right, now I just want you to step forward into that front stance again. All right, very good. Go back to attention stance. Let's go back to that front stance. All right, now we're just working on that stance for a moment. All right, let's get those hands up in the air, and I want you to drop your elbows where they go. We're just going to focus on our jab. So take that left hand, and we're just going to go jab and bring it back. Jab and bring it back. Jab and bring it back. You're doing a wonderful job listening today. Jab. I know he's obviously doing it horribly wrong, but we're just going to pick some small things. Jab. Now we're going to turn this over here. Okay, we're going to stop right there for a moment. So there's more on the tools that we'll get to. Ultimately, I'm trying to get them to a jab reverse. But especially a newer person, if you say, all right, stand in a front stance and just do that, like that might be a little challenging. So we break it down. Micro instruction. And I would spend no more than maybe like, if we're doing just like a simple combination, probably no more than 5-7 minutes on it before we switch gears and move to something else. And again, we can come back to it. All right, so Vincent, attention tagging. Cadence control, let's not leave dead space. And part of that is just kind of planning ahead of time of what you want to do. Small instructions and the 5, 7, 12 rule. You guys got it?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to get in groups of 3. We're going to set the clock for 2 minutes. Try to be mindful of these and your align and motivate tools. All right, go for it.